everybody. Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful day out here today. I had to get out here and do a garden tour. Everything is popping and just looking so fresh and so gorgeous, so I just have to show you. So starting out looking across, I have swapped out some of my furniture from the deck to the front porch here so that my husband can have a deeper seated chair to sit in, because we sit out here a lot in the evenings and he likes to put his feet up, and he was not as comfortable in the chairs that were here. So I drug these big deep seat chairs from the deck up here so that he could have a nice cushy place to sit in the evenings. I decided to go with a purple and yellow theme for my hanging baskets on the front porch this year. And oh my goodness, they are spectacular. I love these combinations. I just think it's so beautiful. And that is a pretty similar combination here. And then I'm going to spin around and show you the one that's on the far side of the porch. Same color scheme, but different plants. Aren't they pretty? Oh my gosh, I just love that so much. And then there's a matching basket to that I planted down in the wheelbarrow down there. So I'll get a closer up shot of that when we go down there. But oh my goodness, everything looks so beautiful. I'm going to spin you around. The one thing that is looking fantastic, I do have some other baskets there that may or may not stay on the porch. So I've left the hangers on them in case I want to put them somewhere else or give them as gifts or what have you. But that's why those hangers are still there. But they may stay on the front porch because I love having the flowers. And I might just have baskets of flowers on the front porch instead of houseplants because my plants don't fare so well when I take them in and out of the house. For the summer, they do great usually out here in the summertime, but sometimes they get a little wind burned and wind whipped. But let me show you the wisteria vine. Oh my word. We got a few little blooms on the bottom of the vines last year. I don't know if you can see, but these are budded up so nice. Oh my gosh, I think probably in another week or two we're gonna have beautiful, beautiful flowers all over these vines. So I could not be happier about that, and I will keep you posted, but that's very exciting. So let's go down in the front. So starting at the base of the arbor here, you'll see my peony that I had planted here from a small piece from the rear of the house. And it looks like we're going to get some blooms on this for the first time this year, but it's rooted in nicely. Peonies are so picky. When you transplant them, a lot of times they just don't like it and they don't make it. But it looks like this one has rooted in, and we're gonna get some blooms for the first time this year, so I'm thrilled about that. Next to it, my little rose bush. Looks like it came through the winter great. Looks super healthy. Thrilled about that. And then of course my selection of iris and lilies, looking fantastic. We have some little tulips still left. Oh, look at these tulips, they're gorgeous. And of course in the last video you would have seen that I did this area up and I transplanted a lot of iris into here. Some tulips down there from a pot of tulips that I had. A hosta that I transplanted from the side of the house, and of course the willow that I had in a big pot on the back deck last year. I definitely wanted to get that into the ground, but I am thrilled with how this front area looks. And oh my gosh, look at the iris. And I apologize for the lawn mower. My neighbor across the street is mowing his lawn, which you can't blame him. It's a nice Sunday afternoon. But oh my gosh, look at that iris. Oh my gosh, and here's another one coming through. Transplanted a hosta over here. So I am just really happy with, there's an echinacea coming up. Oh, it's Siberian iris there. This is just gonna look so pretty. And of course I got the fountain going, and I am getting a new fountain, which is going to be put right here, a nice big fountain, which I can't wait to show you guys. But here's a nice backed up view of love that front garden. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I'm just so thrilled, and I can't wait to get more tulips and more daffodils in there for this next year. Looking this way, you can see that I dug up iris from this corner of the bed because I am going to be redoing these pavers to curve around and meet up with the corner of the front porch here. So I took out the iris, and I'm going to be redoing that. That's going to be a project real soon. And I have some mulch over there for another project. So I'll have to wait on that to show you and tell you about. But look at, oh my goodness, some of the tulips have already been spent, but look at, there's still some really pretty ones. I can't wait to pack this bed out. I purposely didn't do additional bulbs this past fall, but maybe this fall I'll do some more bulbs in here. But oh my goodness, look at how beautiful this fern is looking. I love when the fern first comes out, how gorgeous and chartreuse the color is. And the same with all the hostas. Look at how big and beautiful they all are. This is just the first week in May, and we've had such a gorgeous, gorgeous spring. It was warm early, and it stayed nice. And it just gave everything such a big boost. So everything is just looking so healthy and vibrant. Oh my word. Here's a nice close-up of this pretty old-fashioned wheelbarrow that I like to just put a hanging basket, pot it right up into the soil, and it'll just overflow and look so darn pretty as the season goes on. But look at another fern, these hostas, and one of my favorite heucheras, that solar eclipse. I love that plant so much, I can't even tell you. But look at the gorgeous hostas coming there, and my gorgeous guacamole hosta there. Now over here, this grass area, I'm going to be taking these pavers out, and we're going to be redoing this whole area up here where I'm going to be taking pavers from here all the way over to that bed that I created last year, and then all this grass area here we're going to put cardboard down and mulch, and just put plants in there as we go. But I'm really trying to cut down on the amount of grass that I have and get more flower beds. So that's the plan. We'll see how that goes. Let's go over here. Speaking of heuchera, oh my gosh, this little heuchera bed that I created last year, I could not be more happy with how these have come through the winter. Now I am going to do some fertilizing on these to really help them get established. But look at all the varieties. My little heuchera bed, I love it so much. And then I've got my Ajuga ground cover, my ghost fern, which I'm obsessed with that fern. I love it so much. Creeping Jenny is starting to spread. And again, my hydrangeas are popping out, and look at the size. These hostas are just enormous. This is going to be just huge. It's going to take up this whole area this year. You just watch. We got our little frog pond going here, and unfortunately when I cleaned it out this year, I found the body of the frog that had lived in there this past year, so that made me sad because this is not deep enough for them to winter over. But anyway, so that was a sad thing. But I got the pond going, and this hosta is just enormous already. I got my water slide hosta is coming through nice. Again, my hydrangeas are looking very nice, and this azalea is just loaded, and some of the blossoms have started to open. Aren't they just the prettiest? I love this shrub. It's just, it's gorgeous. I really don't think it's going to get much larger. It seems to just maintain its size. I don't think it's really a variety that's going to get much bigger, if any. But look at this hosta. Again, the size of these leaves. This is going to just take up this whole area here. Lilies. Another variety of hydrangea. Now, this is the one that my guys had accidentally cut back year before last. So last year I did not get blossoms on this shrub because there was no old wood for it to grow on. but we do have old wood now, and we have stuff growing on the old wood, so I do suspect that we will get nice blossoms on this shrub this year, because it's always spectacular. So I'm looking forward to that. I have strong faith that that's gonna happen. And then my lilac that I say every year I'm gonna rip out, and then I don't, because it blooms and it's so pretty. And look at these beautiful, beautiful blossoms. Aren't they beautiful? Oh gosh, so pretty. Now I think this year, after it's done blooming, I'm gonna bring it down to about here, because I want to keep encouraging it to bush out and expand its foliage down lower, so I can get more of a shrub look than a tree look. So I'm going to enjoy these beautiful blossoms up high this year, and then I'm going to take it down a good 2 feet to the top of the fence there, and encourage it to push more growth out down at the bottom. Praying Hands hosta is coming through nice, and look at all these little shoots. Those are all lilac, so that's great. I'm happy about that. And then my Miss America hosta, oh, I love that so much. That's just looking great. I'm gonna swing around. This is the bed that I put in last year for some sun-loving things, and as you can see, it is happy. I have some, I believe it's like a yellow type of a daylily. I don't know the variety, but then I've got my old-fashioned yellow iris here. This is gonna bloom a little bit later, but these iris here are some of the varieties from my aunt who moved down here from Cape Cod, and she gifted them to me out of her garden. And you can see they are all budded up, and they are going to be blooming shortly. Oh, we hear poor Avery in the living room window crying because he wants to be out here, but he's not allowed. Avery, do you want to say hi to everybody on YouTube? Hi, Avery. I know you want to come out, but you're not allowed out in this garden. But you can come out into the back. I'll let you out in the back. Oh dear, life is hard for Avery. But back to this bed. The sedum, oh my goodness, it is looking so thick and so healthy. I expect that to look great. And the Nepeta, oh, that's looking so beautiful and bushy. And I have some little miniature brown-eyed Susans right there. But yeah, right here is where I'm gonna pick up the pavers and swing them around over to there. So that's going to be a big project this year. The crab apple was in bloom, and it was just gorgeous. That is finished now. But last year my hostas under here didn't look so good. So I'm going to make sure I do some fertilizing of them this year. We had some daffodils and some tulips now that are spent under here. But the hostas do look good, so I'm happy about that. And let's go back around into the back garden. All right, entering through the gate into the back garden. I'll start in, it's so much quieter back here. My hostas are looking great. And oh, look at that, my cinnamon fern. Now I have 2 others, but I don't think they made it. I don't know. We'll see if anything ever comes of them. But this one's good and healthy. Oh, and I can't wait to show you how beautiful. It gets these stalks that come up and they look like cinnamon stalks. They're beautiful. So that's cinnamon fern. But yeah, these hostas are looking good. My smaller varieties of hosta down there. The Creeping Jenny is doing well. Done a little bit of a mini hosta. All right, and then down in here, variety of different lilies, and my brown or daisies, an old-fashioned variety of daisy, some coreopsis, some nepeta, some more ajuga, some brown-eyed Susans in there that will come up behind the peonies. Now, oh my gosh, can we talk about these peonies? They are spectacular. Every year, they are just spectacular, and they just wow me every year. How fast they grow. I swear to God, if I had a chair out here and I sat, I could watch these things grow. They just have exploded. And oh, look at all of the blossoms that are getting ready to pop. It's loaded. It's going to be gorgeous. So I think, you know, another week, 2 weeks, that's going to be spectacular. So I will be sure to show you some daylilies there. I think Stella Doros I have there. And some of my old-fashioned yellow iris around there. So let me swing back around to the swing area. Already the Jenna phlox that I have in these pretty little support cages are looking so good. They're growing so fast. And then I've got a dinner plate, oh my gosh, my mind is spacing out. Not magnolia. Is it magnolia? Let me think about that. But anyway, it looks like nothing, but I know they say that they look like they're dead and then they explode on you. So I'm just gonna hang out and wait, but it looks horrible. But look at this creeping Jenny is going to town, and I would love it if it filled in all under this swing. That would be really great because I love, love, love that chartreuse color. It is so pretty, but it's very vibrant, very healthy this year. And then behind, last year, if you remember, I planted a purple pillar rose of Sharon, and oh, that has come through the winter beautifully, and it's all budded up. So I cannot wait to see the blooms on that. That's gonna be spectacular. Very pretty backdrop behind the swing that's gonna be. Then I've got some echinacea here and there, and of course Russian sage, which I am gonna cut that back this year. Try to keep that a little more manageable so it doesn't flop as much, so we'll see. But look at my Yuki snowflake bush. This year is just a stellar year. It is absolutely loaded with flower buds. This thing is just going to be a sea of white flowers this year. Now I've struggled with the right position of where to put this. I think this is the right place to put it, but I've always cut it back. And this past year I did not cut it back, and I think maybe I'm not going to ever cut it back again. I'm just gonna let it winter over and just let it go on the old wood, because this is just, oh gosh, loaded with little white flower buds. So it's gonna be great. I can't wait to show you that when it blooms out, but like every day, those buds get bigger and fuller, and I can't wait. My hosta is already going to town over there. Again, we've got some old-fashioned daisies there. Echinacea, another Russian sage, and then another one of these dinner plate. Oh my gosh, I don't know. But anyway, here's an example. Here's the stalk, right? It looks dead, looks like nothing, but look at, we got all of this going. So it's coming back, and the same with over on this one. Now these get more sun, so I expect, look it down in there, see? It is coming back, so I do suspect that the one over on the other side is going to also rebloom. And this is my collection of my Easter lilies that every year I get one. I stick it in there, and they have just such a pretty show later in the summer. And then this area is new that I planted last fall. This whole area is new. If you go back and watch my old videos of creating this, because this did not used to be our property. We bought from here over to there was all part of this house's property, but when we bought this house right here, we opened it all up, and so I was able to create this bed from scratch. So I have some Siberian iris, which I can see is starting the buds. It's all budded out. That's gonna be gorgeous. There's a bunch of buds there. I've got some Coreopsis here. Oh gosh, my silver mound. I think that's gonna just love its life right there. I've got some Medusa snakehead alliums there. Again, more Siberian iris. Some of my yellow old-fashioned iris. I think, oh, my penstemon. Pearls, black onyx and pearls penstemon. Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful, beautiful plant. So I can't wait for that to bud out. Some other things in here. Let me see. Oh, over here. So again, some iris there that's getting ready to bud out. I think this is another variety from my aunt. I don't recall the color, so it'll be a surprise. I did put in some allium bulbs here, but they got frostbitten, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna dig these up and put these back out in the front, because there is some out front that are growing better. But again, some more iris there. I'm gonna swing it over here. Over here, I mistakenly thought that the bulbs that I planted here, I thought these were my allium bulbs, but these were not. These were my Carnegie white hyacinths, and they did bloom for me. Excuse me, a little bit, not profusely, because again, they did get frostbitten, and they were transplanted and stuff. But I suspect that next year, because I mean, they have been prolific in you know, just multiplying. So I expect that's going to be a nice show next year. And then you may notice our little resident groundhog lives there. So, oh gosh. Every once in a while we see him poking out, and yeah, we've got a groundhog. But I don't mind, I don't mind. And then up onto the deck here, the hostas that I have back along the fence are just going to town. They have popped and are huge, 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 huge. So I have to get my my rhizomes for my cannas and get my cannas planted along the fence here, because we're past frost, and I'm gonna, I think, put a big pot of cannas here and maybe some over there on either side of the gate. So I'm gonna have some fun spreading those cannas around the garden, because I have a ton of those rhizomes. So that'll be a really fun project video coming up shortly. So swing me back around here. And then I'm gonna end with these baskets here on the back side of the house. I always like to go with more pastel colors on the front of the house and more vibrant, warm colors in the back here. I love the purples and the yellows and the oranges and reds. So I went with the purples and oranges this year, and that's pretty much of a real, like, kind of classic type of an orange blossom on that one. But let me show you these ones over here. They're much more of a tropical orange, like sunset, tropical sunset type of a color combination, which, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. Look at that. That is just gorgeous, and how it plays against the purple. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how much I love this basket. So I got two of these. I got this one, and this one over here is a bit smaller. The greenhouse had to go in the back and find me another one. This is a bit smaller, but I wanted to get the smaller one and put it here, because actually this basket that I hang in this corner always gets the best amount of sun and shade, and this one always ends up being the biggest of all of my plants. So since this is starting out to be the smallest, I'm going to put it here because I know it's got the best chance of becoming a monster. And of course, got all my fountains going, and it is just so relaxing to be out here. And oh my gosh, I have wanted for years a jade plant. And when I went to the greenhouse to pick up all of my baskets, they had this monster jade plant that they have had for over 35 years, and it puts out cups like you wouldn't believe. And I got this beautiful plant for $6. Like, are you kidding me? Look at this thing. It's just, I'm obsessed. Look at that, beautiful. And I tried to talk them into selling me the mother plant. They said no way. Which I kind of figured would be the answer, but hey, if you don't ask, you don't get, right? So I bought a pup for $6, which I'm obsessed with this thing, and I can't wait to have it grow into a massive specimen like its mother plant. So, all right guys, I hope that you enjoyed this spring tour of my gardens and yards, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. If you guys are enjoying this content, I'd really appreciate it if you would please hit the subscribe button. I'm making a conscious effort this year to grow my channel, and that would help me out tremendously. So just hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.